Super Bowl 59 is here as the Philadelphia Eagles look to dethrone the two-time defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. We know who the stars are: Mahomes, Barkley, Jones, not, Daniel Jones, Chandler Jones. We know who the superstars are going to be. But who will be the X factors? Who will decide Super Bowl 59? Let's break it down, shall we? We will take a look first on the Kansas City sideline. And obviously, Patrick Mahomes is going to have his day with all of this, right? But some of the other guys who could step up, Kareem Hunt, I think is going to be really important for the Kansas City Chiefs. Pacheco just hasn't really been it in the postseason so far as he works his way back from injury. For Hunt, not a big fan of some of the off-field transgressions, obviously. But from an on-the-field standpoint, they need to get the run game going even just a little bit to take some of the pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. And they don't really run Mahomes down at the goal line. He'll scramble and make a play, but I do think that he is a quarterback that isn't going to be doing a tush-push or anything like that. So they're going to need Kareem Hunt to, I think, step up in a big way once you get down inside the 5-yard line and be able to put some of those drives away. Now, the main red zone offense is probably going to be Mahomes to Kelsey, but just to at least put the threat of the run in there against the Philadelphia Eagles in this fantastic defense of theirs, I think Kareem Hunt is going to be very important to see if they can turn a couple threes into sevens down at the goal line. Also, you need to very much focus, I think, on the offensive line. And the offensive line are the X factors really in every football game. But in this one, for this team, I think it is specifically important. The only time Kansas City has lost the Super Bowl, the offensive line was really banged up going into that game. Facing this Philadelphia defensive front is not an easy thing to do. And this offensive line has had a few struggles. They did play pretty well against the Buffalo Bills, but overall, it hasn't been perfect for them. And so I think that this is going to be a very important game. If Philadelphia has to bring extra rushers to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, they're going to have a bad time. Mahomes is so good on the blitz, or against the blitz, at finding where that blitz is coming from, basically throwing right at it because there's an opening there and taking advantage of that opportunity. If Philadelphia is just able to get there with 4, or Jalen Carter, basically. If they are just able to get there with 4, then this is going to be a really, really difficult night for the Kansas City Chiefs to win this football game. One on the defensive side of the football, Drew Tranquill, the the outside linebacker for Kansas City. He is tied for the team lead in tackles in the postseason. He is going to be huge in defending the run and trying to keep Philadelphia one-dimensional. We said it the other day, the big story of this game for Kansas City is, can they make Jalen Hurts beat them? Can they make this team a passing offense and try to limit Saquon Barkley? Tranquill is going to be monstrous when it comes to that sort of a setup. So we will see what he can do, and if he is able to limit anything on the Philadelphia Eagles side at all. For the Philadelphia Eagles, they have a couple of guys that I think can really step up in this game. The one that I think is the key on this team is Devonta Smith. The Chiefs have been fantastic against number 1 options so far this year and in the receiving game. And so it is going to be, I think, imperative for Devonta Smith to have a big game. A.J. Brown, I would imagine, gets kind of the Reed McDuffie stack thing there. And now Devonta Smith, the pressure is going to be on him to go out, make a few of those plays in the passing game, and keep things moving a little bit. So I think there is going to be a lot of pressure on him. And if he can turn out and have a really big game, which we've seen him do in big spots before, then all of a sudden, this offense looks really scary for the Philadelphia Eagles. On the defensive side of things, Nolan Smith is going to be really, I think, important. He has the potential to be a game breaker on the defensive side. We know what Carter and Bond and Blankenship and those guys can do, but Nolan Smith, he has the potential, I think, to be one of those guys as well. The speed that he can bring when he is rushing the quarterback is really quite impressive. So if he can bring that speed, put that pressure on, and again, create some of those opportunities on the defensive side to force the Chiefs back further and further and further and just put that pressure on them, then this is going to be a really good day for this defense. And I think the last one here is Vic Fangio. He is a fantastic defensive coordinator. He now has the challenge of going up against Mahomes and going up against Andy Reid, who are constantly magicians in getting guys open and forcing defenses to try to make some big open field tackles and stuff like that. Their play design and their execution is second to none. So it is going to be up to Vic Fangio to out-chess the chess masters in this game and try to limit them the best way he can. Really, when you go through this game, the punch counter punch all the way through is just fantastic. I am so looking forward to what we get on Sunday night out in New Orleans. So a lot more NFL coverage still to come here on Couch Potato Diary, twitch.tv/primetimepk. There we go. We're going to have, like I said, we're going to run through the Eagles season coming up on the Wednesday pod portion, which is going to be streaming later here on Twitch. We are also going to be running through Kansas City season. How did they do? And how did they get to this point? Going to do a draft of the two teams and going to have the full breakdown. Plus, we'll have the fun props. We call it the Booper Soul around here. My wife comes on to help out with some of the more oddball props that the NFL has to offer. So that is all the coverage that is coming up here over the next little bit.